Hey guys, Cuchallain here, and sorry that this is a bit late. I have a bit of a cold, as you can probably hear in my voice, and yesterday night I fell asleep while waiting for this episode to come out. But I'm glad it did eventually come out, because obviously this episode was incredible. The second episode of Rakugo was quite good. It had a feeling that was basically just loss kind of thing. Like the second episode of Rakugo, it was kind of slow. It was building up who Yakumo and Sukeroku were. This third episode, though, it goes back to the same kind of feeling as the first episode and what I initially fell in love with when it came to this show. And that's that feeling that you have of falling in love with something that you're doing and just pushing yourself to do it more and more and realizing you can't really escape it. It's good. It's one of those follow your dreams kind of things. Like my initial title for the first episode was Just Do It. And really, that was my feeling that I got from it. It was very motivational and I liked it. And that's the same feeling that I got from this episode. It was really powerful in the way that it did it too. I mean, it started off with just Yakumo realizing he was nowhere near as good as Sukeroku. Because whereas Sukeroku did nothing but Rakugo all day, Yakumo had to go to school and finish high school and do the normal teenager shit. And I mean, that was to be nice to him, and so that he could have a future even without Rakugo and he could learn bits and pieces about the world. But it was because of that he felt like he was falling behind, and even though he'd fallen in love with Rakugo, he just realized he wasn't as good at it as he wanted to be. And that was kind of sad, man. Like, he was even saying himself, he'd just started to fall in love with it, and then the war started, and Rakugo got literally taken away from him. He got sent away from Tokyo. That was so painful. I mean, Sukeroku went with their master to just basically tell stories to the troops and continue practicing their Rakugo, but while helping out. He, on the other hand, Yakumo, got sent with the old woman to live in the countryside where it was safe from, like, airstrikes and all of that, but goddamn. Poor dude, he hated that so much. And he started to slip into this mentality of, oh, well, maybe this is just how it's going to be. Maybe I should give up Rakugo and just get a normal, boring factory job and marry a normal woman and raise a normal family and give up on that dream. He really thought about that for a while, but I'm so glad. The way they spoke about this was so perfect, because it wasn't that he sought out to restart Rakugo. It wasn't that somebody brought it up to him and he got reminded of it. It was just he found himself talking about Rakugo to himself while he was relaxed. While he was calm and while he was bored, he got interested in just telling himself the stories again. So eventually he got all his Rakugo stuff back out and started practicing more and more and learning to do it again. And that's just so nice. The fact that he realized it had literally become a part of who he was. Oh man, that was cool. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that he does love Sukeroku. And I'm not necessarily saying, oh, they're gay for each other. I'm just saying he loves him. Whether it's like a brother or something more than that, I don't know. I think we're going to find out about that in the next episode. I mean, Yakumo has had relationships with one woman and almost had a relationship with another woman while he was working at the factory. Neither of them really played out, and quite honestly, it didn't seem like he was that interested in either of them. I mean, the second one he was just considering marrying for the sake of it and settling down and being normal. First one he seemed to have some romantic attraction to, but we never actually see him being very passionate. It was just he got to know her because he wanted to know women and he stuck around with her because she was a nice woman, but he never really said he fell in love with her. He never did anything particularly passionate with her. So he could still be gay. That is still out there. But for now, we just don't know. But the reason that I say that I think we're going to find out whether he's gay or not next episode, because at the end of this episode, a woman appeared who looked very modern, very interesting, and is clearly going to capture the heart of Sukeroku. I'm not sure if this will naturally be the mother of, I don't even remember her name from the first episode, the woman from the first episode who was Sukeroku's daughter, but she's definitely going to be a very impactful character in this series. The way she showed up with the sunglasses, the cleavage showing, the shorts, well, not even short, but the skirt that actually showed some of her ankle, whereas back then they didn't do that so much. She's definitely going to be an important character. She's going to shake things up. I'm hoping both Sukeroku and Yakumo kind of have a thing for her. But then again, if Yakumo is gay, it could be that Sukeroku will have a thing for her. Yakumo will realize his feelings for Sukeroku. I'm not sure which direction it will go between those two. I mean, we see a scene of her kind of collapsing onto Yakumo, so maybe that's when he'll discover his feelings, or maybe they will both be in love with her and they'll end up fighting over her. Either way, I'm looking forward to that. This episode was great. I loved that whole bit. When Yakumo was in the countryside and thinking about moving on without Rakugo, and he felt so sad. Like, eventually he stopped checking the mailbox for responses from them. They weren't able to send anything while they were at war. Man, it was so deep and powerful. It's feeling a bit like 5 centimeters per second, and it was so sad, but I liked the fact that he was getting back into Rakugo. When he went back to Tokyo and started doing Rakugo himself and got promoted a level so that he could actually go and do it by himself without a master. Oh, it was great. You could see how much he was loving that. The master's wife kind of came back to life compared to what she'd been like while she was at the countryside. I mean, she'd almost killed herself while she was at the countryside. She was quite happy to just waste away. When she came back home and found out that their groundskeeper had like looked after it so well. Man, that was so nice. And then when finally Sukeroku and the master came home in the sunset. Oh, it was so cute. Like, it was really nice seeing the husband and wife grab onto each other. But then equally, Yakumo, man, the way he dashed forward, like he dropped his walking stick, he still made it towards Sukeroku. Oh, gave him that big, tight hug. Both of them were tearing up. It was so sweet. So I am loving this anime. It's a very good one to watch if you are into that general message of like chasing your dream and finding something that you love doing in life. Other than that, it's just so much fun. Seeing these relationships develop. I'm still interested in Yakumo's sexual preferences more than anything else. I'm hoping that I do turn out to be correct. Otherwise, it is just because the mangaka is into yaoi and she's done so much yaoi before that she just has overtones of that in the story. Which won't be a problem. Whether he is gay or not, it will be cool. It will be interesting seeing them fight over the girl if they're not gay. I just think it would make the story a lot more interesting if Yakumo was in love with Sukeroku. And he was currently telling this to Sukeroku's daughter. Oh, man. So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comment section below. And if you like this review, wreck that like button like you mean it. Subscribe if you haven't already to see more. And I will see you guys next time.